All right, welcome back to the channel. So, like I predicted, or like I thought would be the case, there's a chance that Tyson Fury and Bob Arum will try to get out of having a rematch with Deontay Wilder, and rumors that they will be thinking about making a multi-million-dollar offer to have Deontay Wilder forego his rematch clause. And let me tell you, man, other than the fact that I want to see Deontay Wilder have a rest in the boxing side of it, if it was anything other than that, I would say, man, Bob Arum and Tyson Fury must think Deontay Wilder is stupid. But let's go through that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers, and everybody else that joins in. Look, Tyson Fury is now the WBC champion because he beat Deontay Wilder last weekend in their rematch. And Deontay Wilder, being the WBC heavyweight champion, has a rematch clause in his contract. So, similar to the situation when Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, and Anthony Joshua exercised his rematch clause, and Andy Ruiz had to fight Anthony Joshua again unless he wanted to get sued, and you go through all that court thing. That's the same situation that Tyson Fury is in. So the fact that you might have people in the media that say, well, we don't need to see this rematch with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. The win for Tyson Fury was emphatic, so it doesn't serve any purpose. That's one thing. But whether or not Tyson Fury needs to fight Deontay Wilder, that's something totally different. Now, I did videos about this particular subject when, like I said, when AJ was enforcing his rematch clause against Andy Ruiz. Now, I do find it interesting that although there was an emphatic win from Andy Ruiz over Anthony Joshua, I don't recall hearing people say, we don't need to see that fight. We need to go straight to a Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz fight. I never heard it. And the win for, what's the difference in the significance of the fight, of the lopsidedness of the fight between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz 1 and Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 2? It's about the same thing, but you don't hear the same. Now you're just hearing, let's just go straight to Joshua. We didn't hear, let's just go straight to Ruiz and Wilder. But as to the question of whether or not Tyson Fury has to take that, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to give Deontay Wilder that rematch. He would just have to deal with whatever consequence comes as a result of a lawsuit from Deontay Wilder. And the court could very well issue an injunction against Top Rank and Tyson Fury if they find that not having that rematch would cause irreparable harm to Deontay Wilder's career. That is the standard that the court used to determine whether or not they were going to enforce the rematch clause that Lennox Lewis had against Hakeem Rahman. So you see, this is not uncharted territory. And if you look at the case, if you read the case, the Hakeem Rahman and Lennox Lewis deal, one of the things that they pointed out about Lennox Lewis against Hakeem Rahman was Lennox Lewis's age and how important it is, how important the heavyweight championship of the world is, and how if Lennox Lewis was not able to have that fight right away, that because of his age and how many fights he's already had, he might never be able to have that opportunity to fight again. So from what I can see, that scenario is very, very similar to what's going on with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder at 34 years old, if he doesn't get another shot at the heavyweight title, on this rematch clause, there's a possibility it may take 2-3 years for him to get a shot again, if ever, right? And that is because he already has 40 professional fights. So from two sides of it. One, that there's the rematch clause. And so, it's not just, you have to have a court enforce it. But from what I can see on the outside looking in, Deontay Wilder has he has the ability to have that enforced. Secondly, as far as, offering Deontay Wilder multi-millions of dollars for step aside money for the Anthony Joshua fight, why would he do that? Unless you're going to pay him the amount of money he would make in the rematch, why would he do it? If you're going to, what do you think you're going to offer him $5 million for a fight that could generate 30 for him? If you want to pay him $30 million to do for step aside money, then hey man, step up with $30 million. But if you're talking about paying him pennies on the dollar to step aside, no. Deontay Wilder should take him to court and then file an injunction which would stop any fight between Lennox Lewis and Tyson Fury. And he should go that route. And also, I don't understand why the same people, I think I said this a little bit before, why the same people who didn't find it necessary to push Anthony Joshua to fight Tyson Fury, Andy Ruiz to fight Deontay Wilder, would all of a sudden say, no, we don't need to see that. What we want to do is, and I knew that's what Bob Arum is going to want to do. Bob Arum is not going to want that rematch. Bob Arum has a major championship belt. He's not going to want to put Tyson Fury back in there with Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder, you say what you want, you hoping that whatever his reasons are that he had for underperforming aren't real. You know what I mean? Because still he's dangerous enough of a puncher that he can catch you and he can knock you out. That's still there. So I don't believe Bob Arum wants to make that fight again. And I would think that's just, and if Tyson Fury takes that standpoint, if Tyson Fury says, well, no, I want to go to Joshua, that's over. We'll give him a couple $1 million. I'll give him a couple $1 million and, just to step aside. I think doesn't that seem a little bit unappreciative of Deontay Wilder, who never had to fight Tyson Fury, and also Deontay Wilder, who didn't, and when the first fight was a draw, did not have to rematch him. He had no reason to enter into that agreement with Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder had he did not have to give him the rematch. He did not have to give Tyson Fury the chance to prove that draw wasn't real, that he was wrong. He wouldn't, if he didn't give him that opportunity, Tyson Fury wouldn't be where he is now. So for Tyson Fury to then turn around and say, well, no, I think that's over with. I'm going to give you pennies on the dollar. I'll give you pennies on the dollar to go away. It's just something really, really not right about it. Now, I wouldn't mind. Now, if Deontay Wilder decided himself that he didn't want that rematch right away, then hey, man, that's a different story. That's a different story. But from what I understand, that's not what the scenario is. What the scenario is that Deontay Wilder wants to go right back in there with him. And hey, man, at his age, and the amount of time that he really does have left in his career, hey, man, maybe that is the best route for him to go. I'm not, I've disagreed with several moves that Deontay Wilder has made over the last 2 years, and all of them wound up paying off for him. I didn't want him to fight Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz is a very dangerous fighter the first time, and it paid off for him. Tyson Fury is a very, very good fighter, but that was a risky fight with Tyson Fury the first time. He took it to give Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury rematches. That really did show a lot of character and a confidence for Deontay Wilder. But hey, man, he could have definitely just went the route of knocking out people that he knew he could knock out, but he didn't want to do it. And it paid off to him in this last fight with a really big payday, at least. So, if he says that he wants a rematch and he wants to go that route, hey man, more power to him. I'm gonna support him 100 miles an hour. I do not think though that Tyson Fury and Bob Arum should be able to get off the hook for a rematch in actuality or in the public eye. Out of a sense of fairness at the very least, man. The guy gave you an opportunity to win the belt that he didn't have to give you. And now that you have the belt, for you not to return that favor, that's a lack of character. Now, it's not even a favor because it's in the contract. It's what you agree to. He said, yeah, I'll fight you. If I win, I get a rematch. For somebody to cut you a favor, well, I mean, it's mutually beneficial because they both got paid. But then for you to turn around and say, nah, and try to find some way to get out of it, I mean, it's not a big character move, man. The guy should get his run back if he wants his run back. And it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.